a Canadian perspective now. Here's Richard in Toronto. Hey, Rich.
Oh, hey, Eddie. Love the show, man. The most underrated guitar player musician out there is a guy named Frank Marino. Mahogany Rush. I mean, just a phenom of a guitar player, and he's got some really tasteful stuff. And he released a DVD a couple of years back. It was live at Agora Theater, filmed in Cleveland, and oh my God, I mean, just incredible guitar playing. So,
Richard, I had him on this show to promote that DVD.
Oh, did you? Sir, I wasn't listening. I wish I had been, but I love that guy. I mean, just incredible guitar player. So, and
if I remember,
virtually unheard of.
His concert's like 5 hours long too, if I remember. He plays really long shows, but
it was filmed really well. It was such a great concert.
He had a moment, Frank Marino, in the late 70s, Mahogany Rush, all that, where he definitely had some buzz on him. For sure, and thank you, Richard. And of course, Richard being from Canada, Frank Marino is Canadian, but it didn't carry over for whatever reason. But you're right in that he made a big influence on a lot of people. A guy like Zakk Wylde will tell you how much he loves somebody like Frank Marino and what an influence Frank Marino was on his playing. Now, I don't know. Again, some of these people they're maybe a little underrated because of their own doing. Because I don't think Frank Marino, from what I can remember, really maintained his career. I don't think he stayed at it. I think he kind of dropped out for a little while. If I'm not mistaken, there may have been some issues somewhere along the way as well. And I know that so when he was on for that DVD that the caller was talking about, it was probably 5 years ago that he was on with me, if not longer. And I remember he was my booking agent was listening to the show and heard Frank talk about wanting to maybe go out and play again, which he hadn't done in a long time, and then went and booked a tour for him, and he was supposed to go out and do it, and then he just bailed on it. Something happened and he bailed on it. I don't think he's been heard from since, and I think he's kind of semi, if not fully retired. So my point in saying that is I don't know if he really worked it that hard for his own career. I don't think he worked his own career consistently and evolved enough maybe to stay in it. Because again, there's so much more you need than talent. That's a big part of it, but there's so many other intangibles you need to surround yourself with. And I don't know if it all fell into place for him and he was able to, I think that may kind of possibly be a factor.
In Fountain Hills, Arizona, wanted to hear some Frank Marino and Mahogany Rush, a track called Ain't Dead Yet. I forgot all about this guy. That was the first concert I ever saw. I just looked it up, August 6, 1978, Giant Stadium. It was the second concert ever there. It was Aerosmith, Ted Nugent, Journey, and Frank Marino and Mahogany Rush. My older brothers took me to that show. It was the first time I ever smoked weed. That's what they did back at concerts. They would just pass a joint down the row you were in. Everyone would take a hit and just pass it to the next person. It was really weird. I looked at my brother when I got the joint. He's like, all right, whatever, just don't tell mom. I remember him saying, and I took a hit, and it was unbelievable. I forget the rest of the concert, but it was a great time. But Frank Marino, I'm just starting to listen to some of his old stuff, man. The guy's unbelievable on guitar. Ain't Dead Yet. A track from Frank Marino.
It's harder today for a guitar player because everybody's sort of playing the same now. They've got this Yngwie Malmsteen mixed up with Steve Vai, mixed up with and I think a lot of kids are getting a little bit tired of some of that too, and they want to go back more to the blues roots. Rock and roll, certainly tell me that.
again. Hey! Come on. Big round Calvary, winding through the midnight rain.
Today, you see the kids in every music store that play like this. So, I mean, what are they really accomplishing by doing, showing themselves to do these things? Almost anyone can do it. To me, it sounds almost like Nintendo music or something when you hear it. It's just so fast, it's unintelligible. And I like to think of the guitar, well, of any instrument, guitar, drums, horn, kind of like a voice. And I would never, you don't see a whole lot of singers come out and sing at 100 miles an hour. I mean, you wouldn't understand what they were, even if they weren't singing words. They were just saying la la la. The amount of kids that tell me now, when we're either in the studio or whatever on the road, you know, it's really amazing. I mean, we talk about this all the time. They listen to what we do, and they see a newness in it in the same way that it's not really. I guess that's why rock and roll is rock and roll. I mean, look at a band like Aerosmith. They've been around since the same time that we've been around, in the early 70s. And they're still a very, very big happening band because it's straight rock and roll.
I said, I am, man. Well, I'm the back door man.
Today, if you're a great player, you have to be, but that doesn't get you to be a star anymore, you know. I think the days are gone when we'll see the superstar, the Jimi Hendrix superstar, the guy on an instrument that's going to be a superstar. I think today it's good songs, honest performance, and doing rock and roll so that the kids feel like they're part of it, not like you're up 100 feet and they're down 100 feet, you know.